Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent. I was a teaching instructor when I was there. I've worked thousands of IRS cases. I'm the author of a best-selling book exposing secrets for IRS settlements. Today I want to talk to you ways that you can try to get penalties and interest abated by IRS. It's important that you understand that if you want to get penalties and interest abated by IRS, you have to find out. By the way, I was a revenue officer. I should say I used to abate penalties and interest. I only work cases if penalties are over 100,000. But let me tell you at least where to begin, what to start. To go ahead and abate penalties and interest, you must look at reasonable cause. That's the word that IRS uses to go ahead and abate penalties and interest. And there's a section in the IRM, the Internal Revenue Manual, it's section 5, where they have different reasonable causes, excuses that you can use to abate penalties and interest. So the first thing you have to do is you have to look for what reasonable causes exist on possible penalty abatements in a case that you're looking for. And then once you have that, you develop a story that's around that. But more important than having a story around that is you must develop a not only a system to do that, but you have to have what you can document to show are your excuses and the documentation to show exactly why. For instance, you were in the hospital. Well, I'd have people to send me bills for the year before, the year after. You have to show the year, if you were in the hospital, you said you're on a May 1st because you want a failure to file abated. You have to have a hospital bill dated that day. You can't just use random dates. You'd be surprised. I know this sounds simple, but people just do not do that. So you must look for a reasonable cause. That's number one. Number two, I'd go to ChatGPT to find other things that you can use for a reasonable cause, and then have ChatGPT write the letter, but change it. You have to make it your own. You can't just use ChatGPT, send in a letter, which people are doing nowadays. IRS is going to smell that out in a second, and they're going to throw that right out. They're going to throw that right out. They're going to out the garbage really quick. You've got to make everything your own. So you want to have a reasonable cause, you want to have your documentation, and then you want to put a letter together, no more than 2 pages. Don't overdo it. Make sure your documentation or exhibits are in addition to the 2-page letter. You have to make sure IRS understands the reason, and they will go ahead and accept that through the reasonable causes they allow. Anyway, that's the best that I have for you. That's Chris, who's walking by today. So he's not going to wave. He's just not going to do nothing. Anyway, he always does that when he's here. But anyway, that's how you go ahead and build a reasonable cause. And you remember, you could have 2. There could be 2, not just one reasonable cause. So I wish you the best of luck. But remember, if you want to know specifically where to go, Google IRS Internal Revenue Manual Section 5. Section 5 will have all the reasonable causes. I wish you the best of luck. Do a lot of due diligence. There's a lot of good letters that are out there. I can't recommend any one because we do our own letters because we know how to draft those. Anyway, thank you so much. Give me a subscription. And now you've heard it from a former IRS agent who used to abate penalties and interest from IRS. So please give me that subscription. If you need me in the future, keep my number.